Have you ever noticed how some of the biggest decisions in your life didn't come with a spreadsheet, but with a feeling, a quiet nudge, a tightening in your chest, an unexplainable certainty that said, do this or don't? And yet almost immediately another voice followed, calm, analytical, rational. It began listing pros and cons, risks and rewards, probabilities and outcomes. In that moment, you were standing at one of the oldest crossroads in human psychology. Should you trust your gut or your logic? This isn't just a philosophical question. It shapes careers, relationships, investments, partnerships, and life directions. Some people pride themselves on being purely logical. Others swear by instinct. But the truth is far more nuanced and far more powerful than choosing one over the other. Your gut is ancient. Long before you learned language, mathematics, or structured reasoning, your brain was already processing patterns, threats, and opportunities. The gut feeling you experience is not mystical. It's neurological. It's your subconscious mind scanning millions of stored experiences, signals, and micro patterns in milliseconds. When you feel something is off about a person, you're not being irrational. You're detecting subtle cues, tone shifts, body language, inconsistencies that your conscious mind hasn't yet articulated. Logic, on the other hand, is evolution's newer upgrade. It's slower, deliberate, structured. It demands evidence. It builds models. It calculates trade-offs. Logic is what prevents impulsive mistakes. It's the system that says, pause, verify, think this through. So the real conflict isn't gut versus logic. It's speed versus accuracy. Your gut reacts instantly. Your logic reflects carefully. Imagine walking down a dark street and sensing danger before seeing anything. That instinct could save your life. Logic would be too slow in that moment. You don't run calculations when survival is on the line. But now imagine choosing a business partner, investing life savings, or signing a legal contract purely on gut feeling. That same instinct, if unchecked, could cost you everything. The power and danger of gut feeling lies in its invisibility. You don't see its data. You only feel its conclusion. This is why people both praise and regret following their instincts. Your gut is shaped by experience. When you have deep exposure in a field, your instincts become sharper. A seasoned entrepreneur can feel a bad deal. An experienced doctor can sense a diagnosis before tests confirm it. A veteran banker can detect credit risk in a conversation. But here's the critical distinction. The gut is trained. It's built on thousands of repetitions, failures, patterns, and feedback loops. An untrained gut is just bias wearing confidence. This is where many people go wrong. They confuse impulse with intuition. Impulse is emotional, reactive, often ego-driven. Intuition is quiet, pattern-based, and strangely calm. Logic acts as the counterweight. It forces intuition to present evidence. It asks uncomfortable questions. It exposes blind spots. Yet, logic has its own weaknesses. Logic depends on available data. If your information is incomplete or manipulated, your logical conclusion will still be flawed. Logic can rationalize bad decisions if the inputs are wrong. History is full of logically sound decisions that led to disastrous outcomes because they ignored human emotion, timing, or intangible variables. Markets crash despite logical forecasts. Relationships fail despite logical compatibility. Products flop despite logical demand analysis. Why? Because humans aren't purely logical beings. We are emotional, social, psychological organisms. Ignoring that reality creates sterile decisions detached from real-world behavior. Your gut often captures these intangibles before logic can measure them. For example, you might reject a job offer that looks perfect on paper. Salary is high, role is prestigious, growth is promising, but something feels misaligned. The culture, the leadership energy, the subtle tension. Logic says, accept. Gut says, hesitate. Years later, you may discover that instinct saved you from burnout, politics, or stagnation. This doesn't mean gut is superior. It means gut detects what logic cannot easily quantify. The smartest decision makers don't choose one system. They sequence them. They let the gut speak first, then invite logic to interrogate it. Think of gut as the signal and logic as the verification system. If both align, confidence skyrockets. If they conflict, investigation begins. When your gut says yes, but logic says no, you pause and gather more data. When logic says yes, but gut resists, you explore hidden risks. This dual processing model is how elite performers operate. Whether in business, medicine, military strategy, or investing. Interestingly, neuroscience supports this partnership. Emotional processing and rational processing occur in different but interconnected brain systems. Decisions that engage both tend to be more resilient and satisfying. Purely logical decisions can feel empty. Purely emotional decisions can feel reckless. Balanced decisions feel aligned. There's also a timing dimension. Early in decision cycles, gut is powerful for direction setting. Later in cycles, logic is critical for execution planning. For instance, you might intuitively feel drawn to start a cafe, launch a YouTube channel, or build a tech platform. That spark is gut-driven. Vision, excitement, pull. But turning that vision into pricing models, cost controls, marketing funnels, and operational systems requires logic. Gut chooses the mountain. Logic plans the climb. Another overlooked factor is regret. People tend to regret logical decisions less in financial matters, but regret ignoring their gut more in life matters. You may regret investing in a failed stock, but you often regret not pursuing meaningful opportunities, relationships, passions, creative risks, because logic overruled instinct. Why? Because logic optimizes for safety, while gut optimizes for fulfillment. Safety prevents loss. Fulfillment creates meaning. Your life requires both. There are also situational triggers that tell you which system to prioritize. When stakes are immediate and survival linked, trust gut. When stakes are complex and long-term, engage logic. When you lack experience, lean on logic and external data. When you possess deep domain experience, respect trained intuition. One powerful technique is emotional rehearsal. After making a logically sound decision, imagine living with it daily. Does it energize you or drain you? Your gut often reacts to this simulation. Similarly, when your gut pushes a decision, run logical stress tests. Worst-case scenarios, financial exposure, reversibility, opportunity cost. If the decision survives both emotional and rational scrutiny, it's likely robust. Another reality worth acknowledging: fear often disguises itself as logic. You may say, logically, it's too risky to start this venture. But beneath that statement could be fear of failure, judgment, or uncertainty. True logic evaluates probability and mitigation, not emotional discomfort. Your gut, ironically, may be pushing you toward growth while fear-driven logic pulls you back to safety. Learning to distinguish fear from rational caution is one of the most valuable decision skills you can build. Environment also shapes this balance. High-pressure, corporate settings often glorify logic. Creative industries often celebrate instinct. But neither extreme consistently wins. The most effective leaders, founders, and creators develop cognitive flexibility, the ability to switch between instinctive and analytical modes as context demands. Over time, something fascinating happens. Logic trains gut. Every analysis you run, every post-decision review you conduct, every success and failure you dissect feeds your subconscious database. Your future instincts become sharper because your past logic refined them. This is why experience feels like wisdom. It's not mystical. It's accumulated pattern recognition plus analytical feedback. So the real goal isn't choosing gut or logic. It's building a gut worthy of trust and a logic system strong enough to test it. When both mature, decisions become faster, yet wiser. You hesitate less, but regret less too. At life's biggest crossroads, the question isn't, which one should I follow? It's, have I listened to both fully? Because your gut speaks in feelings and your logic speaks in reasons. But your future lives with the consequences of whichever voice you silence. So the next time you face a defining decision, don't rush to crown one as king. Let instinct raise the flag. Let logic inspect the terrain. Let experience weigh the cost. Then move forward, not with certainty because certainty is rare, but with alignment. And alignment is where confident decisions are born. Where this reflection stirred something in you, don't ignore it. Start observing your own decisions more closely. Notice when your gut was right. Notice when logic saved you. Track patterns. Refine both systems. Because the ultimate advantage in life doesn't belong to the most emotional or the most analytical mind. It belongs to the integrated one. And the more you practice that integration, the more your decisions stop feeling like gambles and start feeling like guidance. So the real call to action is simple, but transformative. The next time you stand at a crossroads, don't ask, what should I do? Ask, what do I feel? And what do I know? Then build the bridge between them and walk it with conviction.